Blockchain security risks. Understanding threats, vulnerabilities, and best practices for secure blockchain ecosystems. Module 3. This module comprises 4 main topics: secure wallet management, evaluation of decentralized applications, DApps, and smart contracts, the importance of keeping software and devices properly updated, and finally, data backup and recovery. Let's remind the importance of strong authentication and shared control models that keep custody of assets in the right hands. Hot wallets are connected to the Internet, browser mobile exchange, which is convenient for frequent transactions and DApp use. However, this means higher exposure to malware, phishing, and remote attacks. There are more appropriate for small working balances only. Cold wallets have their keys generated and stored offline, either in hardware or in paper. Transactions are signed offline and then broadcast separately. This allows for a far smaller remote attack surface, and thus best for long-term holdings and treasury funds. Use long, unique passphrases stored in a password manager, enable two-factor authentication wherever possible, and never share your seed phrase with anyone. Additionally, keep your hot wallet credentials completely separate from your cold storage credentials to ensure a breach in one doesn't compromise the other. A multi-signature comprises 5 main steps, namely definition of the M needed approvals out of the total N, the keys distribution, the proposal of the transaction. The transaction stays pending until the required number of approvals are collected. Finally, the transaction is broadcasted to the network. Let's look at 2 examples. First, a 2 of 3 multi-sig wallet, where only 2 out of 3 signatures are needed. In the other example, we have the so-called boardroom requiring 3 out of 5 approvals. We now present the wallet security checklist, which has 5 items: authentication, signing model, seed phrase storage, balance policy, and review cadence. The checklist is adapted to hot and cold wallets. Let's view the due diligence habits to apply before connecting a wallet or approving a transaction. Before connecting to a wallet, it is important to avoid unaudited projects and ignore pressure tactics like countdowns or urgent reward claims. One should never approve unlimited token allowances, and always confirm the website URL and contract address exactly match official sources, as scammers rely on tiny discrepancies. We devise a 5-step practical workflow to apply before interacting with a project. First, perform some research, then check published audit. Next, assess what are the read permissions of the contract, and then test with a minimal transaction. Finally, track wallet activity, revoking unused approvals. Software and devices are of the utmost importance and needs to be kept updated. This involves wallets, browsers, firmware, and connected devices current and closest to known security gaps. Vulnerabilities are patched continuously, and thus these updates need to be applied to wallet apps, browser extensions, and firmware. Attackers are actively scanned for users still running older, unpatched versions of popular wallets and extensions. Thus, delaying updates on any device that touches your keys widens the window an attacker can exploit. Wallet applications and extensions should be updated directly from the official App Store or vendor site, never from links received in malicious messages. One needs to apply OS and browser security patches promptly, enabling automatic updates where practical. Firmware updates should be done only through the manufacturer's official app, validating the device's authenticity prompts. Smartphones, routers, and other devices used to access wallets should be kept current too. Time to look at the important topic of backup and recovery procedures. Effective protection of seed phrases and private keys starts with writing them on durable offline media, preferably metal backups for fire and water resistance, and storing copies in separate, secure physical locations. Equally critical is restricting knowledge of those backup locations to only a few trusted people, ensuring that no single point of failure compromises the entire recovery system. Never store seed phrases in cloud notes, email, or chat apps, and never photograph or screenshot a recovery phrase. These digital traces are prime targets for hackers. Also avoid keeping the only copy in a single location and never share the phrase with anyone claiming to be support, as legitimate services will never ask for it. Effective recovery requires redundant backups in multiple locations and formats, plus routine restore tests on a separate device. Clear written instructions and organizational authorization rules ensure trusted recovery and business continuity. The 4 pillars of secure interaction start with secure wallets, namely using strong unique credentials and multi-signature for shared or high-value funds, and evaluating every connection by verifying contracts, audits, and permissions before approving transactions. They also require staying updated by patching wallets, browsers, firmware, and devices immediately, plus backing up seed phrases with redundancy and testing restores to confirm they actually work. Thank you all for your attention.